Hello everyone, welcome back to G&J Exploring. In today's video we finish our trip around Costa Rica and unfortunately have to head back to the airport to get back to the UK. We start this portion of the trip by leaving Manuel Antonio National Park, visiting a plane in a restaurant and a plane parked in a car park, before arriving at Tarcoles, a small town on the Tarcoles River, near where we saw the crocodiles on a bridge a couple of days previously. At Tarcoles, we go into the river on a boat and we see some crocodiles up close and personal. That evening, we stay the night in Playa Agujas and have a last look out across the sea, before getting to our final day in Costa Rica, where we head back to the airport via an old abandoned railway bridge over the Rio Grande River. We hope you enjoy this video, and on with the show. It's a new day and we are once again on the beach here in Manuel Antonio. We've just had our breakfast looking at the sea and now we'll be heading back to the hotel, packing up, checking out, and then going up the road to a restaurant called El Avion, which is sort of placed underneath a large plane.
We've just had a coffee and a pastry at El Avion restaurant, named for its plane that takes up the majority of the restaurant. But this is the view you get looking over the sea. Now you can come here for sunset, but they don't guarantee good tables. Most of the tables for two are at the back, so we decided let's just come up here for breakfast because we get the view from our hotel. So that is the view. We sat here for about half an hour. And then the thing to see here is also the plane, so let me take you into the plane. As you can see, it's here. We've got fans and lights coming off it. And this is inside it, which they have made into quite a cool bar. And that is the back of the restaurant, and the bar as well.
So, as Juliet has shown, we are at a restaurant with a plane, and we are now in the cockpit of the plane. And it is a Fairchild C-123, which was a transport plane used by the Americans, and it ended up in Costa Rica because it was used by the CIA to fight some of the more communist elements here in the country. But it was bought by the restaurant for a very small amount of money, and it's really cool to be able to come into the cockpit and have a look at it. And if I swing around, you can see Juliet and I here in the cockpit. And we're now going to be heading along the road to somewhere we were a couple of days ago to go look at some crocodiles. We are back at Estoril, and instead of being at Playa Estoril like we were a few days ago, we are now at Estoril town centre, where rather incongruously there is another very large plane parked up. Now I'm not sure on what model this plane is, no idea on the provenance, but it's here, it's in fairly good condition, and it just looks like it's been driven here at some point. So it's really cool to be able to come around and, well, touch it, which isn't normally a thing you can do with big planes like this, but it's very impressive to see. Obviously a cargo plane of some description with a ramp at the back, but yeah, not sure why it's here, but it's really cool to come and see. We are at Tarcoles, which is about 2 hours up the way from Manuel Antonio and quite near Playa Estoril. And we are here to do the original crocodile tour. Now there's lots of different crocodile tours and I think they're all pretty much the same. We're apparently doing the original, which means we head down here and get on a boat. Should be looking for a man called Jose, and hopefully he'll be down here on the river. And there we have a river where hopefully we'll end up seeing quite a lot of crocodiles. We are on the boat, but nobody else is here, so it's just us and the captain and the tour guide having a look around the river.
The crocodile we saw there? Yeah. 3 years old.
Oh, God. This is probably the closest I've ever gone to a crocodile in my life. We saw a baby, now we've seen these two, which are considerably bigger.
Osama bin Laden. And that's the female. Hillary.
We've been sitting here with them for a little while, and now for some reason George has got a bit brave.
Where do I want to touch it? Behind his head?
He may now be losing his.
Look at me, look at me.
That is George touching one of the biggest crocodiles on the river.
Osama being cool.
So we've seen the crocodile, and now we're heading back down the river to some mangroves, which we'll get to further down here towards the sea. And these are the mangroves on the side, and you get all sorts of things in here. It's where crocodiles go to have their babies, and it is where scarlet macaws and so on can be found. And here we have a load of birds here in the mangrove forest.
That's my position, look. Oh. Inhale, exhale. Good yoga.
So we have the ocean down there. We've just gone into the mangrove forest a little bit to have a listen to the birds, and you could hear so many of them chattering away. We're now heading back to the dock, and then we'll be heading to our hotel at Playa Agujas for the night. We've just found a scarlet macaw up in the tree. I'm going to zoom in on the phone now and try and get a bit of a closer view. It's just having a bit of a walk around, but we'll get the phone out and do a zoomed in bit of video. And here we have a video of a scarlet macaw eating its lunch. We've just come off the boat, gone to their restaurant, and it was right here. Juliet saw it first, of course, so she is, as normal, very, very smug about the situation. We're just a little bit along the road from the crocodiles and the macaws, and we're now at Playa Agujas, where we're spending our last night here in Costa Rica. Our flight out is tomorrow, and we have another wonderful sunset across the beach. We will do the obligatory 360 view, but where we are here is not quite as pretty. You've still got the lovely sunset, but the beach isn't quite as nice, and neither is the trees behind it. But given how close we are to civilization here, it's still very nice, and apparently this place is very popular with tourists coming from the capital on the weekend. So it's probably the last video for today, and tomorrow we'll be closing out the trip and heading to the airport. We had a nice night's sleep and a good dinner at the restaurant yesterday, and we're back on the beach very briefly before we head off to the airport. So this is our last day in Costa Rica. It's currently 10 o'clock in the morning, and the plane goes at 6, so we've got to get to the airport around 3, so we've got about 5 hours to go. 2 hours of driving, but Juliet has found an activity along the way where we will be finishing our time here in Costa Rica. But for now, we just have the wonderful view once again out across the beach. We are at the Museo Ferroviario, so we're about an hour towards San Jose, the capital, from where we were at the beach. And basically, this is a museum dedicated to the railway line which used to be here in Costa Rica. Looks like it used to be a station, and as you can see, we are definitely on a railway line. Unfortunately, the Costa Ricans decided that they preferred trucks to railways. So, well, all the trains have stopped running. But we've still got this really cool station with all of its bits. And we have this really cool train here to look at. Now, we're going to be walking down this path a little bit more because there is a massive bridge just a little bit down here. We're going to go and have a look at. And here we are, just walking down the track through the jungly bits. Really cool to be doing this. Juliet just found it in Lonely Planet, and it's very conveniently pretty much exactly on the route home. So we've just come down the railway line and we're now at the bridge next to the Pan American Highway. So we'll be heading back to the road in a little bit, and I'll come around to the side so you can see the bridge as a whole. Now apparently you can walk along the concrete bit the whole way across, but looking at the state of the bridge and looking at the surprisingly big drop, I will not be doing that. All I will do is walk down enough that you can get a bit more of an idea of what it's like. And I think enough for me is at this bit of concrete which has disappeared. But there we have the railway line going along the bridge, and it is very cool to see it here. And here we can see the railway bridge as a whole. Now, as brave as I am not going to be walking all the way across that. The drop in the middle is humongous. You can't really see the bottom of the valley, but it is all the way down there. So we will just be going along the little bit I went along before. But it's really cool to come and see it. And now we'll be heading to a restaurant for lunch.
We are now back down the track, and we have found a George in a locomotive. Now, this is the thing that's open on Sundays. Our flight out is Saturday, so as you know, we've just popped in on a Saturday. But really cool place, definitely recommend it if you can come. It's a local man, basically got the land for free. He looks after it a bit, probably could do better, but all the same, it's quite a cool place to come and look around for half an hour.
So that brings our trip around Costa Rica to an end. Juliet and I both had an amazing time, and we really enjoyed driving around Costa Rica. It's quite easy to do, and it means you get to see some of the sites a little bit off the tourist trail. Costa Rica is one of the easiest places I've been on holiday. It's quite well priced, very easy to get to, and everyone there is very nice to talk to, very helpful, and you'll really have an amazing time. Thank you for watching all of these videos, and we'll see you next time.